A second Catholic parish is in turmoil over botched baptisms. These allegedly have been occurring for decades, and church members are now being told that their holy sacraments are illegit. The second case of improperly performed baptisms is happening in Troy, Michigan, where a deacon used the word "we baptize you" instead of "I baptize you," which, according to the Vatican, is enough to invalidate the baptism. A Catholic church in Arizona facing the same situation, where a priest there also used the wrong pronoun in baptisms for nearly 2 decades, leaving thousands of parishioners with invalid baptisms and voided marriages. Now in Michigan, a young priest first noticed the mistake while watching family video of his own 1990 baptism, when he heard the deacon utter the words, "We baptize you" instead of "I baptize you." His baptism and his ordainment as a priest now not recognized in the eyes of the Catholic Church, though I believe he just got rebaptized and everything's back to normal. Like, he just had to do all the sacraments all over again. But there's a lot to dig into with this, and a lot of the faithful have questions. For that, I am joined by Joe Heschmeyer, Ewo. Am I saying that right?
Heschmeyer, yeah.
Heschmeyer, thank you, who works at CatholicAnswers.com, where he is a staff apologist. You have to explain what a staff apologist is.
Sure. An apologist comes from the Greek word apologia, which means a defense. So the mission of Catholic Answers is to explain and defend the faith. And so our job is to just help unpack situations like this, or to explain any issues people may have with Catholicism.
Okay, well, that is what we are here to do. So let's begin with the cases of the "we baptize you" versus "I baptize you." How big of a mess is this?
It's a much bigger mess than it seems like on the outside, because when the minister of baptism, the priest or the deacon, whoever it is, says, "I baptize you," he's not saying "I, the priest," or "I, the deacon." He's standing in the person of Christ. Just like at the altar, when the priest says, "This is my body," he doesn't mean this is Father Andre's body. He means this is Jesus's body. And so when you change that from "I baptize you," meaning Christ, to "we baptize you," meaning the community, you're no longer doing what we're called to do by Christ. The mission is to go out and baptize in the name of the Father and Son and the Holy Spirit, not in your own person, but in the Trinity. Like, Christ is the minister of baptism. And we find this is not some new Vatican thing. St. Augustine talks about this in terms of why even those people who were baptized by someone wicked, like the people baptized by the apostle Judas, didn't need to be rebaptized, because whether it was Peter baptizing or Judas baptizing, it was really Christ baptizing.
Okay, so for everybody who thinks it's not a big deal and that the church should be a little bit more lenient, it's been this way for how many years?
Oh, it's been this way throughout the entire history of the church. I would just say, in terms of the pronouns, it'd be like saying, "We'll go to lunch, I'll pay," and then you get there, and well, I meant you'll pay. It's only a difference of one pronoun, right? Mm-hmm. And these things, like the pronouns here, really do matter, because at the heart of it is a question about who and what the sacraments are about. You know, are the sacraments something we do for God, or are the sacraments something that He does for us? And so the point of this is not to be legalistic. Actually, because Christ is the one who baptizes, it's really easy to have a valid baptism. You basically just have to baptize. "I baptize you in the name of the Father and Son and the Holy Spirit." There's all sorts of things you can do wrong besides that and still have a valid baptism, but you can't mess with the formula we're given by Christ.
Okay, and really quickly, we're out of time. Can people just get rebaptized?
Yeah, and so if you have questions about your own baptism, speak to your pastor. You can even have what's called the conditional baptism if you don't know if there was a valid baptism or not. And I guess I just really stress that while we're bound by the sacraments, God isn't. No one's going to go to hell on a technicality, but you should still try to be baptized properly if you've got any questions about it.
Well, good grief. You just answered the question of the ages right there, because I think that's what everybody is really worried about. All right, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Joe Heschmeyer, an apologist with the Catholic Church. Now we know what an apologist is. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.